you had a great week, man. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Before we start, go Eagles. You already know how I'm coming. Feel me? Ready to get that second ring.
I hope he knows, like, I'm not posting this on a Sunday. Like, you know this is going to come out after the Super
I
Bowl.
don't care when it come out. We're going to have a second ring to our name. It don't matter when it come out. Let's talk basketball, free agency especially. We got Luka fucking Doncic.
We got Luka, bro. We
got starting
Luka,
there, man. Let me hear it, man. What was your reaction?
Initial reaction, I was about to go to sleep. Like, I think, what was it, like midnight? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got to go to sleep. It was a Friday it was a Friday, right? It was a Friday night.
You think I cared about the day? I know I was at work.
It was Friday night. I'm about to go to sleep, and as I'm going to sleep, my phone started blowing up. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's good?
Are you shams?
My phone started, and that's all. I had 3 different group chats telling me, like, Luka to the Lakers. I'm like, nah, bro, this can't be.
Trolling.
So immediately I start going to Twitter, and I'm like, yo, that's Shams. And I'm like, nah, bro, this like some prank. Like, there's no way. But minutes go by, time go by, more details come out, and we like, yo, this actually might be real. Like, it was such a crazy trade. It's something we have never seen in the history of sports. Crazy. Not just basketball, bro. We've never seen this in sports. What was that, 2 top 10 players in the league?
Crazy shit about
getting traded
for? They might be top 10, arguably top 5 in some people's eyes. Like, they're
AD healthy. Y'all saw AD in his Mavs debut. We Lakers fans, we're not gonna start disrespecting AD now that he not with us. We know AD's a dog. We know how good AD can be.
Yeah,
but it's just the fact that he's 30. He's going on 32. You know, he's expensive. I think he's getting paid more than Luka's getting paid. Luka's not even gonna be able to be eligible for Supermax anymore. Luka is 25 years old, fresh off leading his team to the NBA Finals.
Fresh off leading the league in scoring. Probably the second best player in the league last year, right?
He fat though.
Yeah. I mean, my initial reaction, look, man, I feel bad for AD because us Lakers fans are like so jolly and happy about it, but when you get a top 3 player in the league, it's like, look, man, I appreciate AD. I'm still a big fan, and like if we don't win, I'd love to see AD in Dallas win. Like, I'm rooting for AD. When you get somebody like Luka, it's just like, bro, I don't care about the day, the time, who we lost. We got Luka Doncic at 25 years old. He was the second best player in the league last year.
No, like you can't even do that in 2K, bro. That's not like you can't even get that trade done in 2K.
Luka healthy's top 5 in the league, right? I don't think there's any argument about it. We all had him like top 2, like he was last year.
Bro, I said before the season that this was going to be the year that Luka cemented himself as the best player.
I don't even think people should explain the Lakers side of making this trade. There's no explanation for it. We were able to get Luka at the cost of AD. We love AD, but yo, anybody in the league would have traded their bet. Like, it's only like 4 people in the league that wouldn't have traded for Luka.
Who?
Only like 4
Who's
people.
The 4 players?
Giannis, Shea, Jokic.
Steph Curry. You can't trade Steph Curry.
Bro.
You can't trade Steph Curry.
Bro, it's probably only them 3. Me personally, man, I'm keeping them 3, and anybody else can get gone for Luka.
Yeah, just about.
He can get gone. I think
Tatum's not getting traded.
Gone.
Tatum's not getting traded for Luka.
Only because maybe not Tatum just because the Suns are so good now. They won a championship last year. They're probably going to make it to the finals again this year. They already have a good thing going over there. So you're right. Maybe Tatum won't get traded.
Oh, Wemby's not getting traded.
I don't think it's because of Tatum's talent. I think it's just what they assembled over there. They already got a winning culture. Luka's better than everyone in the league. Like, it's like...
Yo, shout out Nico Harrison, bro.
He only talked to us. And if he went to the Knicks, they would have offered him Brunson, whoever they wanted. Yo, any team would have offered their best player. They could have went to the Magic, got him Franz.
They would
have...
From the Rockets, they could have got Amen Thompson. They could have got Jalen Green. They could have got all their picks. They could have got salary filler Fred VanVleet. They could have got Tari Eason.
Yo,
they would have given him Trae Young and somebody else.
They could have went to any other team, and they could have gotten whoever they wanted.
Yo,
like I said, except out of the 4 we named, they could have gotten any player they wanted in the draft conversation. That's how good Luka is. There's no explanation for why the Lakers did this trade. Oh, Luka. No, I don't care about none of that.
Bro.
It's Luka Doncic at the age of 25. We had to get him in the expensive AD. Any organization, any team is doing that 100 times over. There's no explanation for the Lakers side at all. We got a dime. We got our star for the next decade. Like, we're good. We're good now. And on the Dallas side, I know you had a lot to say about it. You don't see any good outcome of it. I do think the Dallas have a good team. Still the dumbest trade, like one of the dumbest trades ever. I don't know how you trade a guy like Luka Doncic at 25.
I don't either.
But I do think they still got a good roster. They have to win the championship this year. That's the only way this doesn't look that bad. They have to win this year.
So I was watching the Rockets game yesterday. Rockets versus Mavericks when AD made his debut and they came out hot. But then I knew they were gonna come out hot. James Harden, when he got traded to the Sixers, after his first week in Philly, everybody was raving about the Sixers and what the duo could be. You know, it's just a common thing. When you freshly get traded to a team or a team makes a move, that they play rejuvenated for at least a week, maybe a couple games, just because it's new, it's fresh. Everybody's, something to prove, especially when everybody is rioting outside of Dallas. But when I began to look a little more at what it's going to look like in the playoffs, and I saw a lot of Klay Thompson guarding the best guard. And maybe before it wasn't as good. With Luka, I'm not saying it was any better. But with Luka, if your team is now having to lean on the defensive upside and your main point of attack defender is going to be Kyrie and Klay Thompson, that is a bad combination. And luckily they went against a Rockets team that they had no shooting, right? They had Jalen Green at the one who is the worst playmaker in the league by far. Like stats prove, he is the worst playmaker of all time. So it was easier to guard him next to Amen Thompson, who's not known as a shooter. So they faced a team without Fred VanVleet, who helps run this team. I feel like we had to see it against another team. We got to see it against, it's unfair to say the Thunder, but a team that's more perimeter-centric, a team that's able to shoot the three, a team that has a good point guard because the Rockets didn't have that.
Just not convinced
I'm not convinced. I think this is a team that's supposed to lean on defense, and you have no perimeter defenders. PJ Washington is a good defender, but he's not going to be able to keep up with anybody on the perimeter. It looks all right. I feel like at times the paint is going to be clogged.
But I mean, prior to the Luka trade, wouldn't they have had Luka and Kyrie as the point of attack?
But at that point, you're leaning on the offense that you're going to be able to outscore more than the other team, and you're going fully at that. You're going fully at your guard giving you 34, 10, and 10 on a nightly basis.
And you don't think AD's offensive output would be enough to, because obviously we know he does it on both sides. I think he's not Luka on offense, but he's still.
You got to think about it though. It's not just a linear. I don't see it as a linear 1-on-1 because with Luka gone, I view Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively as significantly worse on offense.
All right.
And Kyrie, we've seen him as the point guard. We've seen him as the lead playmaker in Boston. It did not end up well because he is not a person that can run an offense. That's why the move to the Mavericks was so great because he was able to be the Kyrie we know, the Kyrie next to LeBron, the Kyrie that can play off of a playmaker and score when needed. But now we're changing, like so much changes that now we're changing Kyrie's expectations to now he has to play make. He has to initiate the offense because although AD is amazing and we're seeing a lot of centers being able to play make now, AD necessarily is not one of those centers. So this offense has to run through Kyrie because PJ Washington, although he has great moments and on the fast break and things of that nature, he's been amazing. He's not going to be able to initiate the offense. We already know Klay Thompson. We know his legacy. We know what he does. He's not going to be able to initiate the offense. Mm-hmm. Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, although they bring a lot of energy, they're not going to be able to bring much on offense as much as I think there's going to be a team that's going to be great rebounding. So a lot of their points is going to be a lot of dirty work. I see them matching up well against a team such as the Thunder in some aspects. But also in other aspects, I could see the OKC Thunder completely shutting down this offense because it's not going to be able to be run. You imagine the perimeter guards that they have in OKC matched up against a Kyrie-led offense. Yeah. It's going to get bad.
I mean, I could definitely understand what you're talking about.
I look at the Rockets with Fred VanVleet. So now it's a Fred VanVleet and Amen Thompson defensive backcourt. I see problems for the Dallas Mavericks.
So you think they lack a playmaker?
They severely lack someone that can run this offense.
That'd be the reason they wouldn't be able to make a finals run this year.
Well, you think about it, when we go into the playoffs, it's a lot of half-court settings. Mm-hmm. This team looked good last game against the Mavericks. They were able to get on the fast break. They were able to move. They were able to run. Mm-hmm. In the playoffs, when you begin to slow it down, that's when Luka Doncic separated himself. That's when I said that Luka Doncic is going to be able to come into next season and cement himself as the best player in the league. Because in the playoffs, we saw time and time again that pick and roll with Luka Doncic was dangerous. It was unstoppable. And unfortunately, now they don't have that. It's going to have to be run with Kyrie Irving. And the value of Kyrie Irving came as a secondary ball handler, not the primary.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. You're right. I didn't even think about it that way. I can definitely see the little playmaker on it. Kind of like the Timberwolves almost a little bit.
Timberwolves
like
last year.
They were so good on defense, but their offense just still like that real playmaker, that guy that can run the offense and, make stuff work. And they lost that in Luka. The Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, I understand what you mean, how Luka definitely makes them look a whole lot better than they actually are. I still think they're really good role players, really good centers.
They're really good defensively.
Especially next to AD, who's going to be at the 4, which is what he wanted for the last 4 years now.
But also,
AD be all right.
AD can't shoot as good as his shooting has declined significantly.
We're gonna have to see what it looks like. You're right though. That is a big part. They don't have I'm thinking they don't have a real playmaker off the bench. Who they got? They got Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's gonna come in and be their. Nah, I don't think.
Who was their best shooter in the lineup? Was it Klay then Luka, or Klay then Kyrie?
I mean, they still got the shooting. I don't think shooting's gonna be a real. I don't think that's gonna be the real issue. I think you're right. I think it's gonna be the playmaking, the guy that's gonna come up and run the show. But I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I still kind of like how they're. I still like how they look. Do I think they're gonna make a finals run? Even though they have to. After that trade, they have to. No, I don't think they're gonna make it to the finals. But I hope they prove a lot of people wrong. I hope they do go on a nice little run. Maybe next year, maybe during offseason, snag a nice playmaker. I don't really know who off the top of my head. I know they had dreams of. They tried to pair up KD during this free agency or whatnot. Maybe go out and try to get Trae Young if you can make it happen. I don't know. You think he'll meet? You think
they don't have any assets unless they trade the Lakers pick away.
Yeah, you don't think he'd be the solution for all this?
Trae Young.
But this is Trae Young and Kyrie backcourt. Wouldn't you have to get rid of Kyrie?
Trae Young and Kyrie back. That sounds
disgusting.
disgusting.
You'd have to get rid of Kyrie if you want to.
Shay's averaging 50 in that series.
I don't know. We'll see. We got to give them more games. We only saw one game.
I think
you brought up a valid point. Their defense looked good.
I think if this team runs into Denver in the playoffs, which right now it's looking like they're going to run into either the Grizzlies or if they're either going to be the 8th seed or the 7th seed. So it's going to be Grizzlies or OKC.
You don't see them going on a little run, maybe going up a few.
If they go up against OKC, and we're anticipating Chet's going to be back, I got OKC in 5.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see. We'll see how
Grizzlies
this plays out.
Grizzlies still have yet to solidify themselves within the playoffs. Even we seen, remember when the Lakers eliminated the Grizzlies were the higher seed and the Lakers were still the favorites in the series. I think it could be a situation like that because, granted, let me show some respect to the Mavericks. They were injured. They should be a higher seed. But based off their current seeding, they're going to have to face a top team out west.
We'll see. Like I said, we got to see how the season plays out.
But now let's talk
enough
about...
of that. Yeah, let's get on to the next trade. Real quick before we go on. So what do you grade the Mavs? What do you grade the Lakers? The Lakers, I think it's an A+.
Lakers, I think it's A+.
No matter how you look at it, you get a 25-year-old phenom.
That doesn't happen.
Dallas, I know everybody's giving them like a F and D.
I think
I'll give them a C.
In terms of what they got back, I wouldn't say F because Anthony Davis is one heck of a player, bro.
Top 10 player in the league.
Max Christie's
also looking real good, by the way.
Max Christie's. I just think in terms of when I'm saying a D, I'm gonna give it a D just because Luka isn't. I feel as though AD is so you can plug and play him anywhere, and I think it helps the team. But what Luka brings, it's like infectious to the entire team, and you just took that away. Right, and you take away from the value of Kyrie Irving, you take away from the value of PJ Washington, you take away from your centers, and although AD is one heck of a player, the people around him aren't gonna. It's AD, right? It's what he's gonna do. AD on the defensive end is gonna be able to bail out a lot of players, but offensively, I think it's gonna cause more problems than you had Luka Doncic. You had your offensive engine.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm going to keep them at a C for now, maybe a C-. I just want to give it time. Like I said, they have to win the championship this year or make a finals run. That's the only way they don't look as bad as they do. Because right now, Nico Harrison looks like he doesn't watch basketball. He doesn't know basketball. He looks pretty bad right now.
He does, yeah.
The fans have a right to be mad. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Let's talk about De'Aaron to the Spurs now. That's the next big move. I know you were a big De'Aaron fan. Obviously, you're a Wemby fan. As a basketball fan, you have to be a Wemby fan, right?
If you don't like Wemby, bro. If you hate on Wemby, bro, it's really like he's giving you no reason to hate on him. He
came back, had 2 really good. The Spurs looked really good with him the first 2 games. Yesterday I heard he had a little stinker, but I want to know what you think about that little trade compared to De'Aaron and Wemby.
I definitely I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's something that was worth the assets, right? Because this is De'Aaron Fox is still young. He's still 28. What is he, 27, 28?
I
Around
really
there.
feel like the Spurs kept a lot too.
They
Really give
didn't,
up much.
and that's because De'Aaron Fox, although he tried to make it seem like he didn't want to leave, although
more drama too.
everybody knew what was happening behind the doors. Everybody knew he was on his way out. I feel he was just kind of like lying to the fan base, which I think rubbed a lot of people in Sacramento the wrong way. Which if you don't see a lot of people in Sacramento,
Malik Monk was not gonna let him get away with that. Bro.
But I felt the way he handled it was I don't like the way he handled it. The way he kind of went about it, try to act more so like Two-Face. But if we're talking about straight basketball, besides that, I think the fit with De'Aaron Fox and Wemby is amazing. Like, De'Aaron Fox is one of the fastest players in the league. His shooting has gotten better. But besides his shooting, even if he isn't able to shoot as good,
that pick and roll with him,
that pick and pop,
crazy.
That pick and pop with Wemby is going to be amazing. The pick and roll is going to be great. Like, even De'Aaron Fox, this is a clutch player of the year, first ever. His mid-range game is elite. What he's able to do down the stretch at the end of the game is elite. You know, and that's kudos to Domantas Sabonis, who is the best screen setter in the NBA, hands down. But now he playing with Wemby. You know, so this is also a phenom. We're looking at talents like Devin Vassell, who are also able to I believe have a little more spacing, and less responsibility. Jeremy Sohan, I would like to see the fit there. But I just think this team is a team that doesn't have to rush itself into contention
at all. I feel like they have a good looking roster.
I think you give them another off season to formulate this team. Get more players around like Harrison Barnes, get more players around that could just play defense and shoot. And I think this team could go. They didn't really give up. They didn't give up as much as we thought. They didn't have to give up Stephon Castle. So if they want to trade Stephon Castle in the off season, they still can do that to in order to get a shooter. It looks amazing for the Kings. Their hands were tied. They really couldn't do much.
And I like what the Kings got in return.
They still got
the position they were in. They got a good amount in return.
Still got
they
picks.
Got like 6 picks.
Levine that could still help them.
He's a really good.
I think it's mostly swaps, but I think they still got some picks.
Still got a really good player in return. The Kings, I feel like they're the same. What they were, they look the same as they were before the De'Aaron Fox trade. I think they're gonna stay on the same
echelon.
Like it doesn't same little boat that they were in, even with Fox. Like it didn't. Really
and I still think we seen Levine. I believe a month ago it was play some really good basketball. Don't let Levine's tenure in Chicago overshadow the fact that boy is a hooper. What I think he does add to the Kings. That's a little different than De'Aaron is the ability to shoot the peel off of the ball, which I think plays amazing with Domantas Sabonis. The fit between Domantas and De'Aaron was a little, even though they're two amazing players, the fit, now I'm looking more so at fit, wasn't as great, and I think the fit between Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis can be amazing. A lot better.
I think the kids, especially the way Malik Monk's been playing this year too, like crazy.
Now it's just if they didn't have DeMar DeRozan and they had like somebody else in the lineup.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a good little offense. Like I said, they're gonna stay the same. They're gonna have a good little offense. Their defense is still.
Oh, it's Domantas Sabonis shooting 48% from 3 this year. He's a shooter now. Yeah. Didn't make the All-Star game, but it's crazy.
Yeah. I basically agree with everything you said. What did I want to ask you? So, what moves do you think the Spurs can make this offseason and shape? Because I think this year, do you think they're gonna make the playoffs?
Spurs? I think they're a couple games out the play-in. I think they're gonna have to contend with teams like Dallas. Who else is in the playoff? I think the Suns are also in that mix. So I think they might be just outside, but also know they do have a heavy Eastern Conference schedule, and the Eastern Conference does have some pretty weak teams. So I think that might help them a bit. But
right now they sit at the 12th seed.
How many games are they out the 11th? Who's 11th? It's the Suns, right?
Warriors.
The Warriors?
Yeah.
Let's go right in talking about the Warriors. Because I don't think the Spurs are gonna be able to overtake the Warriors.
So real quick though, grade the Spurs and the Kings. I think I'm gonna give the Kings a B plus.
I'm gonna give the Kings a B, and I'm gonna give the Spurs an A.
Hey,
I think both teams. There's not much you can do in that situation when the player says he wants out. When a player says he wants to go to a specific place, so now other teams are not offering you anything because they're like, we know he wants to sign with the Spurs. So the Kings got the best that they can get out of that situation. But now let's go over to the Warriors. We seen it yesterday. That was interesting. Jimmy Butler was used as the pick and roller. Jimmy Butler I don't think Jimmy Butler made a single jump shot, but he had 25 points. He was in the paint a lot. He was moving a lot. It's interesting to see I don't think they're going to be able to play every single game like that. But he did a lot of the dirty work.
So a little debut from him.
It looked a lot similar to what Andrew Wiggins was doing, so I feel like I do have to see more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
to
not
kind
gonna
of
lie.
show
My
me.
initial reaction from when they made this trade was, oh, they're gonna be in the same position. Like, I really don't think this. No disrespect to Jimmy Butler, he's a better player than Andrew Wiggins. I just don't think this does anything for the Lakers. The Warriors issues. I don't think this fixes any of their issues. Like you just said, he's kind of like a slightly overpowered Andrew Wiggins in a sense.
Now, I will show some respect to Jimmy Butler. In the playoffs, what Jimmy Butler does have is the ability to get to the free throw line, the ability to stop the game,
Warriors
the ability
having a hard time getting to that free throw line.
And they
Jimmy
couldn't.
Definitely help with that.
He'll slow the game down.
Even then, still think they're a playing team. This trade doesn't really move me.
No, it doesn't.
I understand, like, they kind of had their hands tied as well because Curry's, like, he's basically telling them, yo, I need help, and I need help right now. Like, he's their star, he's their guy. And they try to do it. I know they tried to get KD. They tried to get a whole handful of people.
They could have. They had an opportunity to trade Brandon Podziemski for Lauri Markkanen in the offseason, and they didn't want to do it.
They ended up.
Draymond said, "Don't do it. That's going to mess up our future." Even though I think Lauri Markkanen is going to be better than Podziemski today, tomorrow, 3 years from now, and 5 years from now.
No, yeah, they kind of waited too long now. And now, like I said, they kind of settled with Jimmy Butler. And like I said, no disrespect to Butler,
they have
I
to-
just don't think this puts him anywhere.
34, 30. He's going to be 35, 36, making $60 million.
And I feel like, man, I don't know. If I was the Warriors, I don't know if they tried or cut. I would have tried to get rid of Draymond if maybe got something back. I don't know. I just feel like he's.
Draymond and Curry's not going. I think they're just going to have to ride this out until it doesn't look good anymore.
I don't know, man. I feel bad for Curry because he wanted help.
Yeah.
And they tried. It's not much.
Kudos that they kept Kuminga, they kept Moody, even though Moody has no trade value. Kuminga, I think he wants 30+ million, so you guys are gonna have to pay him now, since you didn't trade him, and then you guys are now stuck having to pay him 30 million, which is only gonna, worsen the options that this team is gonna be able to do unless they trade him in the offseason. So I think this is the team, and I don't like it. To compete out west. I don't like it. You got the Lakers just got Luka. They're going to get it big in the offseason.
Jimmy a ton of money,
OKC is amazing. We barely talk about the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies are an amazing team, which I think they made some pretty bad trades at the deadline, some small trades I don't think really did much for them.
With the
But
Warriors,
the Rockets are only getting better. I think this Warriors team is outdated. I think this Warriors team is similar to what we see with the Suns, which is sad because Devin Booker is still young. He's still a star. But that Bradley Beal trade really set them back.
Bradley Beal, man. Well, I'm not going to get into that yet, but...
He blocked... This offseason or deadline was highlighted by Jimmy Butler saying no and Bradley Beal saying no. Only 2 teams were willing to trade for Bradley Beal. It was the Warriors and it was the Wizards, and it was another bad team that he was going to say no to both of them. Which is just and then Jimmy Butler, I think he went about this so weird. At first he said that he just wants to win basketball games. Then he started telling teams he's not going to re-sign with them. But I feel as though he was saying that, but I feel as though these teams were saying we're not going to re-sign you.
Yeah.
He wanted $120 million at 35, 36, and what team is going to want to give him that after everything he has done, all the drama, he has not left a single team drama free. But what team other than the Warriors? They already have Draymond Green, right? That's gonna.
Like I said, if I had to grade the Warriors, I'd give them C+.
I give it a C, bro.
They tried.
C.
They got it.
You can't. Andrew Wiggins, one heck of I think Andrew Wiggins is going to thrive in Miami.
Yeah, I would have just kept Wiggins. Like I said, I think that whole Draymond, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do over there in Golden State, but yeah, I think it's over. Like, I think that whole little run, Steph Curry, Draymond, I think it's done. Like, I would have tried to trade Draymond. I don't know what they can do this offseason to help, and after paying Jimmy Butler a shitload of money now, too.
I think the Heat to beat.
You just said they got to pay Kuminga now as well. So I don't know. I don't know what the Warriors got going on. I'm a advocate Warriors hater, so I couldn't care less.
I don't care either. I really don't.
But yeah, they got Butler. It should still be fun seeing Butler and Curry play together. We'll see. Maybe Draymond and Jimmy can give us a nice little fist fight. Eventually, that gets to be by teams. Those are some strong personalities. I don't know how they're gonna get along. In regards to the Heat, they made some moves here and there. They also did the best they could. They had their hands real tight.
That's like game with B. It wasn't much.
It
wasn't much they could do.
We'll see how it goes. They got a pretty relatively young team, I think so. I'm not too worried about the Heat. I think it was time for that Jimmy Butler era to end anyway. They went to the finals twice for them. They had a good little run. It's time to, kind of take a step back and rebuild around, Tyler and see what's going on with Khalil. I don't know how long you think Bam's gonna be with Miami for a while, or yeah.
I really think I'm really excited to see Andrew Wiggins in Miami.
Yeah.
It's funny. He's seen the video of them doing the whole thing. He looked really disinterested to be there. But I really think Andrew Wiggins in this system can just. He's a player. When we saw the Warriors win the finals, he was a motor player. He was grabbing. He had 20 board games in the playoffs. He was doing the dirty work. He was cutting. And I think a team that is now going to be offensively led by Tyler Hero, that's the kind of player I would want next to him. That's the kind of player who's trying to shoot a little more, I would want next to. Bam's also not a good rebounder. A Khalil Ware who's a good shooter. So I think Andrew Wiggins is going to fit into this team well. Obviously, I would get the kind of trade that the Timberwolves made a couple years back when they got like a Mike Conley-esque veteran point guard. I think that would be a good move for this team. But other than that, the East is open. Not the East is open, but the East has in those lower seeds like the Pacers range, the Magic range. There's some opportunity to be able to get into the second round and compete. And we know the Heat, right? They're always going to find a way. They're always going to find a role player.
We'll see. Yeah, also, it's just Miami, so they're bound to get a free agent or whatnot. So we'll see what they do. Like I said, if I'm a Heat fan, I wouldn't be tripping. I think they'll be all right. On to the next trade, so we're not on trading stuff too long. Let's talk about the Mark Williams situation where it got rescinded. We thought we had our center.
Hornets. I was happy.
I'm yelling at Lakers in form, and I think we about to get this ring because I think Mark Williams is a really good center, and people kind of don't know too much about him, so they're kind of like, "Who's this Mark Williams?" Like, he's really good. I think he would have fit perfectly with Luka. He's athletic. He's tall. He can catch lobs. It got rescinded. Everybody knows about his injury history. He misses a lot of games. He doesn't play. So I know the Hornets got they got some things to figure out over there. That's a weird conversation. But yeah, look, I didn't think we'd win the championship this year. Like make a finals run. Without a center. After we got Mark, I got happy. But even then, I don't think this was the year. The Lakers still need this offseason to kind of build around Luka. When that trade first happened, I was even like, yo, fuck it. Trade LeBron, see what we can get. Well, not trade LeBron, but like
that's crazy.
Kind of what Phoenix did with KD. Test it. Let's see what we can get for LeBron. Look, let's ride it out. We'll see what we can do this offseason. We'll find a big. I hope Mark Williams can get us. I don't know what's going on with Mark Williams or what they've seen on that physical. Keep him and LaMelo over there because they had a good thing going. I think they were playing really well together. So hopefully he's not too bitter or whatnot about being traded, and maybe he can figure out this injury thing with him. But
I think ultimately, I thought it was a situation.
I'm not too mad about it, real quick. I'm just not too mad about it. I didn't have any hopes of making the finals this year.
I think with Mark Williams, it definitely a healthy Mark Williams would have gave us a shot.
Yeah, clearly he wasn't healthy, so
he's not healthy.
I'm not gonna be too mad about it. Like it sucks, but it is what it is. We get Don Connect back. I know a lot of Lakers fans are happy about that because a lot were sad that we got rid of Don Connect. I wasn't. Look, we're getting another 23-year-old who's better that can help us win now. Like I was super for it, but
I think
I ain't too mad about it.
Personally, I was saying when we trade for Luka Doncic, I said, yo, Don Connect is about to go crazy. Even though he was already playing with LeBron beforehand. But I'm a big fan of Don Connect. I saw a lot of him at Tennessee. A lot of what he was doing. He's very athletic. He's not the typical Klay Thompson shooter. He can get up and he can slam and dunk down. And overall, I was a little disappointed we traded him. But Mark Williams, I was excited. He has a higher standing reach than Victor Wembanyama.
That was
He's lanky. He was going to get a board.
Yeah.
I thought it was a situation. I know a lot of times we saw Shade's first couple years in OKC. If he sprained his ankle, he was going to be out 2 months because they're like, there's no point of you being injured long term. I know a lot of Hornets players had injury histories. On bad teams, we see it a lot because if we're a bad team, there's no reason to rush you back. So I thought it was a situation like that where he was kind of it's smaller injuries, but since LaMelo had some injuries as well, they just traded PJ. They're like, Mark Williams, why are we going to rush you back if we're not playing for anything? But it came out that he was actually injured, that he was actually very hurt, which does suck. What sucks more is that we don't find out until 2 days after the trade deadline, so we as a team don't get to pivot, and it's kind of awkward being like, yo, Cam Reddish, don't connect, welcome back.
We still have that
that's weird.
situation where we got
we don't have we're gonna have to expect a lot out of Jackson Hayes.
And we might have to go small ball a lot against certain teams.
We're gonna have to.
Terrified of Jokic, please. Please.
And right now, if our first round matchup is
like I said, without this center, I have no hopes of making the finals or anything this year. But we can make a nice little run as long as we don't run into Jokic. Like I don't like.
It would be
going to be a problem.
Right now, if we can jump Denver and Rockets who are on the skid, then we can get into the. I think if we jump. Forget who else we have to jump. We can get to the 3 seed. I think we have a shot at being able to get the 3 seed. Luka's playing Monday, so by the time this episode comes out, Luka's gonna be in purple and gold. He's gonna be warming up.
I think our best bet is staying in the 4th seed, and hopefully the Rockets can stay afloat as the 5th seed. I like our chances against the Rockets in the first round, and in the second round we'd have to run into OKC, which we'll see about it. But look, if I'm being honest, I'd rather play any team in the West, any team including OKC,
except the Nuggets.
I don't want to see Jokic. I'm tired of Jokic. He got it. Jokic got it. I'm good. But I mean, I guess let's not sit on that trade too much. It didn't happen. Let's talk about Ingram because we're talking about injuries and whatnot. Ingram's been out for like 3 months with a sprained ankle. What's going on with Ingram and how do you like to fit with him on the Raptors? I think it's a good fit. On paper, they got a really good lineup. Quickly, RJ, Scotty, Ingram, They got a good chunk of player there. I mean, I know they're trying to win now because they just traded for Brandon Ingram. I don't know. I'm curious as to what they're gonna do this offseason. What they're gonna.
Masai Ujiri, he's always been someone who tried to buy low on a player. And his interest, I don't think this is going to change the fact that they're still one of the worst teams. So they're going to have a lottery pick. They have a chance at Cooper. They have a chance at Dylan Harper. They have a chance at Ace Bailey. So they can still make something happen if worse comes to worse, and they want to keep a rookie because they have some big contracts. Quickly's a big contract. RJ's a big contract. That means they're going to pay Brandon Ingram. They gave up a first and some swaps, so they're going to pay Brandon Ingram. Jakob Poeltl doesn't really have a big contract. He's been amazing this year. Scotty, I believe, has rookie max, but he's going to get the max for the rest of his career. He's an amazing player. So where the draft pick fits on his team, if they get a top draft pick, I don't know. Who's going to be the one out? I don't know. I think if this team falls into the 6 and 7 range, and can pick up the center from Kentucky, I think this would be a good thing for this team. Just even going back to quickly the Lakers, I was upset that it was at trade deadline because we were also trying to get Jalen Duren, but obviously the Pistons, they weren't going to do that. But we could have got some kind of center. But just going back, it's interesting what the Raptors are going to do now.
I think they're in a good position regardless. I don't think they're in a bad position at all. They got a good. Brandon Ingram's not a bad player by any means at all.
But now you have a Scotty Barnes who's injury prone. Yeah. You have a Quickly who's injury prone. You have an Ingram who's injury prone. RJ's pretty consistent on the court. So it's going to be interesting.
They still got young talent. They still got the pick, like you said. So we'll see. They're in a good position.
They still got some stuff.
They're prone to make. They can make a big move if they really wanted to as well. So we'll see. I'll give that trade a nice little B. I think they're in a good position. They have. What did they give up for Ingram? Not much, right?
I did give it a first, I think, but also for the Pelicans, I give it a B plus because when this season was coming in, we were like, yo, they need to trade Ingram so that Trey Murphy can be inserted into the starting lineup. And ever since Trey Murphy has came back from injury, ever since B.I. has been out, we have seen if you real hoopers have predicted, like hoop fans have predicted this from the offseason. I knew this. Us hoop fans were saying, yo, they need to get rid of Ingram so that Trey Murphy can play. Because when we saw Trey Murphy play last year, he was the 3-point shooting that this team needed. And right now we're seeing him hoop like we have never seen.
He's on a tear.
Like I knew he was going to be good. Not this good. Not going to act like I knew he was about to be this good. Going on to players who I did not know were going to be this good, who they both on my fantasy team, Amen Thompson. My God, Amen Thompson has been so good. He has been so good that people are already calling him the best player on the Rockets.
Yes.
What we see from him, if they're so similar. If Sengun can continue to develop this jump shot, because Amen Thompson's game only works if everybody around him can shoot. If he stood next to a Derek Lively, he wouldn't be able, that kind of center, he would not be able to be as effective. But because he has a Sengun next to him, what he does is similar to what we saw Andrew Wiggins do on his finals run. where some people were saying he could have been the Finals MVP. That's what we're seeing from Amen Thompson, except defensively better. I saw Amen Thompson completely take out Kyrie Irving of that basketball game yesterday. Kyrie Irving didn't do a thing because Amen Thompson is that good defensively. Jason Tatum, when they beat the Celtics, Amen Thompson was on him the entire time, and it was one of Jason Tatum's worst games of the year. He is an elite defender.
Bro, really start talking about Amen because he's on his team, bro. This guy, man. We're talking about Trey Murphy, bro. Trey Murphy.
Who's also I'm talking about young players who blossom and we didn't see it coming.
But
we didn't see this coming, bro.
Back to the little trade, though, because the Pelicans are in a weird situation still, even after this little trade.
Pelicans is...
I say just trade everybody. They got some good players.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm running this back next year. Zion looks good. Zion looks healthy.
We got DeJounte's probably gonna be out half the year next year.
Zion not half the year next year.
CJ,
CJ's going. I think if you move CJ, do they own their pick? Do they own their pick?
The only ones that are even Zion, I don't see why not trade him if you can get something. If you can get
something that you can't deny, yes.
Exactly.
But this team I think should be given a shot. Because Zion came back and
everybody said that this year,
but I know they were hurt, but at this point, it's what can you do, right? It's
Look, man,
if it's bad, we just bring in these draft picks and we keep it pushing.
If I'm the Pelicans, man, I'm testing it out. I'm gonna see.
You test the market, but
I'm gonna see what I can get in return for Zion. I'm gonna see what I can get in return for CJ. I'm gonna see what I can get in return for DeJounte, and bro. I think Trey's the only one that's safe, honestly.
I think Trey Murphy and DeJounte and Zion, I think they could be pretty good next year. Obviously, I don't think this team is going to do much. But I think you obviously try to shop CJ. I would take pretty much anything just to get the money off the books. But this team is still young. It's not like... I know us as NBA fans, we try to rush so much. This team is still young. Trey Murphy is still... I think he did... Even though I think he did 4 years in college, so he's a little bit older. He's still... I think... Zion is still 24. DeJounte's a little bit older, but DeJounte isn't the featured player on this team. It's Zion. Trey, and offensively, the two options are Zion and Trey Murphy, who right now look amazing.
They have been playing really good. Yeah.
If only they had Dyson Daniels kind of player.
Yeah, we'll see though, man. I mean,
that'd be crazy.
They got real bad luck. I'm on the board of just try to trade everybody, kind of like I am with the Sixers, but I'm not gonna get into that either.
I don't want to talk about the Sixers.
Yeah,
Sixers not getting no talk out of me. Free Tyrese Maxey. Get him on a good team.
We'll get into that in the next podcast for sure, because I want to talk about the Sixers because it's no way that they're bad. That being said, I think we went through all the big trades. Then we're gonna chalk it up here. Yeah, you got anything to add? Nah. I think we talked about everything. Like I said, we'll try to get a video out soon, man. Go Birds, man. Y'all already know, man. Today's the day.
Lakers about to get T. Higgins. Who else we might get? I mean, I'll take Travis Hunter. What's mad?
Cut the video. Scott, bro.